Once every 4 years there is an American marathon that only a select few can run in. You can't gain entry by raising money for a charity or winning a lottery. Finish outside the top 10 and you don't even get a participation medal. Finish in the top 3 and your life changes forever. You get to call yourself an Olympian. The country's top marathoners are set to battle in the Olympic Trials Marathon Saturday in downtown Atlanta. It's a brutally hilly, winding course that is going to test competitors as few trials marathons have before, setting the scene for a fascinating 26.2-mile chess match in which third place is as good as first and fourth is pure agony. It won't necessarily be the fastest runners who will make the Olympics, but the smartest. Is Galen Rupp, the defending champion in this race and a bronze medalist in the marathon in 2016 in Rio, fully recovered from surgery? Can Sarah Hall repeat her 2019 Berlin performance? Can Desiree Linden pull off another comeback, 2 years later? Will any of the hordes of women who are making this the biggest trials marathon grab one of the top 3 places and sneak onto the plane to Japan this summer? The race comes amid a resurgence in interest in long-distance running in this country. Running clubs are holding watch parties. Handicapping the race has become a favorite parlor game among runners of every ability, who have watched the best runners in the country, especially on the women's side, become true stars. We will have all the action as it unfolds. The men go off a little after noon. The women start at 12:20. Everyone has the same question around this race: who do you like? To borrow a strategy from horse racing, let's start with the favorites, or rather the proven veterans. Here are 2 sentences that are going to sound very strange together. Galen Rupp has been fighting injury and battling back from surgery for much of the past year. Galen Rupp is the closest thing to a lock to making the Olympic team. To not believe in Rupp is to not believe in someone who in the sweet spot age-wise for a marathoner. He's 33, and who has won an Olympic silver and bronze medal in the 10,000 meters and the marathon. He also ran 61:19 in his tune-up half marathon earlier this month. That is very solid and faster than his top competition. Rupp has focused completely on making the Olympic team. Don't believe that? At last fall's Chicago Marathon, he dropped out after 23 miles with a calf strain. That takes discipline and is a tip-off to what Rupp's priority was for 2020: getting to the Olympics. On the women's side, Desiree Linden knows how to find her way into the top 3 in a trials marathon. She's done it twice before. But to do it a third time, she is going to have to find a way to run better than she has run since she won Boston in 2018. And Oswego appeared to have contracted the virus more than a week ago. Oregon health officials said their public health laboratory, which began testing samples on Friday, had detected the positive case. The sample will also be tested at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention for confirmation, as will the new cases from Washington and California. In California, a woman from Santa Clara County with chronic health conditions who was hospitalized for a respiratory illness was reported on Friday to have tested positive for infection with the virus. 2 days earlier, officials in Solano County, California, 90 minutes from Santa Clara County, had announced the first case in the nation with no clear ties to any previous case or overseas travel. In counties in and around each of the new type of cases, officials were bracing for what it might mean for everyday life. Some school districts were adding cleaning staff, scrubbing buildings, and preparing for absences from school. Emergency medical officials were weighing new protocols. And some businesses were contemplating what working from home might mean for their operations. One of the cases appeared in Santa Clara County, where Google and Apple have their headquarters, and which also includes San Jose, the 10th largest city in the nation. This has become very real for everyone in our community, Sam Liccardo, the mayor of San Jose, said on Friday evening as he prepared to meet with city staff about the implications. There's certainly a lot of concern, and the concern is justified. Emergency medical workers in San Jose who answer calls from people with coronavirus-like symptoms will now be instructed to wear protective clothing, he said. We are going to need to take every reasonable precaution without resorting to panic or finger-pointing. For weeks, local and state health departments across the country have been stretched thin by the coronavirus outbreak, and the cases of unknown origin signaled a new front in their efforts. Most public health departments can respond to one case or two cases, Dr. Joshua Sharfstein, a public health professor at Johns Hopkins, said. But it's going to be many more than that. On Friday, California health officials said they had greatly expanded their ability to test for the virus, and experts said the public health response in the affected counties should include examining specimens of people who may have been hospitalized for or killed by a respiratory illness in recent weeks. This case does signal to us that it's now time to shift how we respond to the novel coronavirus, Dr. Sarah Cody, the public health director for Santa Clara County, said. Now we need to add other public health tools to the mix, including looking systematically for the disease to understand its scope and magnitude, she said. In Solano County, where the first U.S. case of unexplained origin was announced earlier in the week, local officials have fielded calls from scores of concerned residents. I'm middling alarmed, said Rick Lodwick, as he tossed a jumbo pack of sanitizing wipes into the back of his car in the parking of a big box store in Vacaville. When I heard it was here, I thought, we're going to have trouble, Mr. Lodwick said. Solano County, northeast of San Francisco, is a place of cattle ranches, biotechnology research facilities, a military base and vineyards. An investigation was started into all contacts the sick woman from the county might have had with friends, neighbors, and medical workers. People are concerned and they're paying attention, said Jeremy Craig, the city manager of Vacaville. But I don't think there's a panic. Restaurants were full on Friday. The manager of a movie theater said there had been no decline in ticket sales, and it was very rare to see someone wearing a mask. Dr. Bella T. Matthews, the public health officer in Solano County, said officials had begun monitoring dozens of people with whom the woman who fell ill there had interacted in recent weeks, including relatives, co-workers, and others she might have had contact with through her job, and had asked them to quarantine themselves at home. At least 124 nurses and other healthcare workers were under self-quarantine, a nurses' union reported. The woman was later taken by ambulance to the University of California, Davis Medical Center in Sacramento. At that hospital in recent days, some workers seemed deeply concerned about possible exposure. I'm worried how this will affect my baby, said Vicky Poncala, a cashier at the hospital's cafe who is 7 months pregnant. Should we be wearing a mask and worrying that people are walking around here, she asked. Should I even be here? Mike Baker reported from Seattle, Thomas Fuller from Vacaville, and Sherry Fink and Nicholas Bogelburrows from New York. Reporting was contributed by Julie Chekkawi from Sacramento, Joe Pertel from Vacaville and Amy Harmon, Ronnie Karen Rabin, Reed Abelson, Nval Sheik and Dana Goldstein from New York.